This is your time. You worked very hard to get where you are, an inspiration to many, a mentor, a rainmaker, and a successful boss. But the one thing you've never done well is now the one skill you have to learn: public speaking. Great leaders throughout time have always shown their power from the stage. Now is the most essential ability for anybody to be seen as a change maker, industry expert, high achiever, or thought leader. Do you have a fear of public speaking? Are you missing out? Does your tribe need a chief executive officer who can command and motivate from on stage? Is your message getting lost because you need to be able to present from conferences, events, and global forums? My name is Dave Crane. I've worked on stage for over 4 decades. I've done every kind of entertainment, and I train leaders around the world to find their voice, realize their power, and dominate their industry. I've worked alongside some of the smartest names and most respected business coaches in the world. I train world leaders, industry experts, and high achievers to speak. What do you need? Do you need to share an idea, a theory, a formula, or an invention? Do you need to position yourself among the best of your peers as a key voice to lead into the digital age? Do you need to elevate and grow your personal brand? Are you ready to share stages and concepts among the most innovative minds, producing viral videos and great speeches on a global scale? Most leaders who are great communicators fail with a microphone because they don't know stagecraft. They don't know how to engage, entertain, and motivate large crowds. But when you do know how, it's just like breathing.
Hi and welcome back to Speak on Stage. I'm Dave Crane. Thanks for having with me. Heavy show yesterday as we made a tribute to Chadwick Boseman, the actor who played Black Panther, who tragically died at the age of 43 from colon cancer, and we never knew anything about it until yesterday morning when I woke up to find the sad news. Today we're going to be talking about reinvention. It's all about reinventing yourself and the ways you should go about discovering a new version of yourself. I'm asking you a lot of different questions about how you can be more effective, and also the things you really need to consider when you're doing your reinvention to make sure it's not just look at me, I've got my hair done differently. And I've got my hair done differently from yesterday. As you saw yesterday, I had my hair down. I was wearing a big blooming thing on my head. Don't know what it's called, bag. I had a bag on my head. No, that's just a bag on your head. No, I didn't. It's a thing. So today's show is all about reinvention. We're going to be talking about what you need to do. And we're going to be looking at what CEOs do, top CEOs do to reinvent themselves, and the things that they suggest to be effective when you're running a business. And they would know because they're top. And if you're reinventing yourself and you have to run yourself as a business, we're also going to be looking at what J-Lo recommends. Jennifer Lopez, if you didn't know what J-Lo was. J-Law, somebody completely different, as Jennifer Lawrence. And J-Lu is somebody I made up. Did you know I've got a dead mouse on my desk? And now I'm starting to freak out people. They're going, oh no. Let me show you. See? It's dead. Nothing. Not moving at all. I changed batteries, chuck it in the bin. So, excuse me, I've just been attacked by Apple as their revenge for saying stuff. Today is all about making you money and making sure, as we see us in August, or whatever time it is on your particular, it doesn't matter, does it? It's just a blur. It used to matter because you'd have a plan. And you say, right, today is such and such, I'm working my way towards this, and by the end of the month, I want to have this achieved, and we'll move forward, and then the way that you'd verify it is because you reward yourself at your birthday, at Christmas, at Eid, at New Year, or whatever your religious calendar would give you. You then turn around and say, right, I'm going to reward myself because that's family time, or it's spiritual time, and in the summer I'll take a break, or go on holiday with my family, or on my own, and be way and have a party, and I would always reward myself on a weekend because it's a weekend, it's the end of the week, so I want to have a break. And during that weekend, I will just chill out, or I'll go out. I'll go to a brunch. Meet some friends, have a really good time. Get obliterated, not get obliterated because my daughter would have to drive. I don't drink, so there we go. But you do things, and now you say, right, what should I do tomorrow? Oh, same as I did the day before. I'm the day before that. I'm the day before, and the month before that, and the month before. I have no idea where we are. I do know, but at some point, I'm gonna be wearing a Christmas hat. And holding up my Christmas mug, which I've been using for goodness knows why, because it's a China mug. Really nice for a cup of tea and coffee. And right now I've got a cup of tea in there. I've got Fat Rudolph with a big red nose on the front of it. And it tastes good. So if you've got your coffee then, or your tea, or your water, or whatever, then make sure you join us for this broadcast. As always, we broadcast, and I need you to connect. There's a couple of rules we have to... Before we do the connection thing, let's do this. Every time you press like, it makes a difference. When you press like and you press subscribe, these are really important. If you share it, that's even better. Yesterday's session was all about Black Panther, so if you are of interest to Black Panther and Chadwick Boseman and a fan of his work, then make sure you check it out and share it amongst the people who would need the inspiration of what he really meant to a lot of people. Okay, so let's get out of the way. Every time you like it, it means that the algorithm on whatever particular platform we're broadcasting on says, this is popular, let's show it to more people. Every time you comment, it lets me know what's going on, and it also lets me know that I'm doing a good job for you. And I do reply back, as you know, from every show. And also, when you share it, it's huge, because that means that other people get to know about the show and more people come to our community. Also, when you subscribe, and we go out to LinkedIn, so that means following or connecting on LinkedIn. If it's on Facebook, it means befriending or joining the group, whatever I've got going on. If it's on Twitter, it's the following. Periscope, stick something up. Periscope, no. There's no need to say that, Dave. So sorry. Don't stick anything up. Unless you want to. But don't tell me. Certainly not in the comments. And YouTube is subscribe. On top of that, we've got Instagram, which is Insta. No, it's follow, isn't it? Is it? Can't remember. Anyway, do all those different things because that means that whenever I do a show, which is every day, then you'll get to know what time it goes out, because it does vary. Yesterday, I pivoted like that. Well, actually, it was like that. It was like that. Because obviously with Chadwick Boseman passing, I decided to move today's session, which was meant to be yesterday, to one side and create a special show all about a tribute to the Black Panther. But at that time we went out a little bit late because obviously I had a lot of research to do and to get materials together in time to make sure that the show is there. So if you're busy and you're at work or you're at home at work, which many people are, most people think, then you need to make sure that you know when I'm doing the show, otherwise you'll get stressed. That's a bit like a motorbike. That was me, not the gold bar stress toy that I've got. So there we go. Dead Mouse, subscribe, like, Squeeze Toy, Ka-ching, J-Lo, 12 ways you need to reinvent yourself. I'll tell you something that's really interesting. Chance with a friend of mine yesterday, Richard Thompson, who you'll get to see on the show at some point in the future. We were talking about London and what's known as I think it's called the Golden Mile in the centre of London, around the financial district. And he said it was empty yesterday. Empty. Normally it's packed. And apparently in London's financial district, guess how many percentage of people have gone back to work now they're allowed to go back to work? Have a guess. Less than that. No, it's not none. Somebody's got to switch the lights on and off. Have another guess. Leave your comments, put it here. Have a guess. No, because the thing is, if I say leave your comments and put it here, somebody's going to Google how many percentages of people, because like a pub quiz where people cheat, how many percentages, is it this, Dave? And I'll go, yeah, how did you know? And you go, I just guessed. Closing a laptop. Not that I would see you, but in your mind, you're closing a laptop. 5%. 5% of London's gone back to the offices in that one particular area, because they're just saying, why would I sit in traffic for 3 hours if I can work at home with my family? I can order food in, I don't have to dress up particularly. I might as well just stay at home. And this is a big challenge, a big problem for cities that's going to be ongoing, because all our ecosystems and infrastructure is built around people who want to be in the cities. They don't want to be in the countryside. Now people want to be in the countryside and nobody wants to go anywhere near a city. The knock-on effect for all the amount of work that gets done in a city, the cleaning, the transport, the subsidiary businesses around there supplying sandwiches to offices, the Starbucks. I mean, in America, we've got, I think it's 90% of the Starbucks are closing down by Christmas. Seriously. We're going to change a model and we're going to open up more delivery services, but even so, that's a big thing. As less and less people stay in the cities, I know they will stay, but not completely. In New York, 30% down. 30% of New York has already left because rent's obviously expensive, and also they just decided that I don't want to live there because it got too dangerous during lockdown. I don't want to be in that situation ever again. So yep, it's kind of scary, and we're looking at a completely different world, which is why reinvention is so important. Today we're going to be going through the things that you should really consider. I've been doing a ton of research for this, and I will spend more on it in a future episode, because tomorrow's episode is all about how to survive 2021. I've been looking at a lot of stuff at the World Economic Forum and the things that they recommend that you should really have. And tomorrow I've got a massive checklist of all the skills you need to have. But today is all the things you need to do to reinvent yourself. Cool, isn't it? I've not even looked at this camera now. Hello, how are you? You're looking good. To see, you've made the effort today as well, haven't you? You've done your hair differently. I don't know why you've done your hair differently, but it looks good on you. And I've got bored of looking at the camera already. So, all that's coming up next on Speak on Stage. Give me your thoughts, give me your comments. As always, I want to know where you've been, what you've been up to, where you're calling from, and let's get you reinvented today. So am I on this camera, or am I on that camera, or am I on this camera, or am I on that camera, or am I on this camera, or am I on that camera? And I could go on like this for many years, and you would just go click and leave me, which you should do, because it's pretty dull. I did promise to share with you J-Lo and her view on reinvention. Now, I'm not the world's biggest fan of J-Lo. I've got to be honest. Sometimes I do find it's a little bit and a bit But one thing I have to say is she's been lasting now for, what, she in her early 50s? That latest movie she was in, where she was a dancer, she was incredible, deserved an Oscar for it. One of my favourite movies of all time is Out of Sight, with her and George Clooney, where she was absolutely brilliant. She's an incredible artist, incredible visionary, a brilliant businesswoman or business person, still an unbelievable dancer and entertainer. She's written some of the best songs, period, ever. And I think she's just an immense talent, and what an amazing inspiration to women and men alike for lots of reasons. But I think she's incredible. So give it where it's due. You don't have to be a huge fan, but you do have to have respect for the incredible Jennifer Lopez. Welcome back, Speak on Stage. I'm Dave Crane, and it's all about reinventing yourself. It's all about the ability to say, right, what I was yesterday is not what I am today. What I am today is more in congruence to what I want to be tomorrow, so therefore I'm going to shift it and change it and redefine myself. And I'm going to do it, and people won't understand what it is I'm doing, but I have to do it. Now, why is this such an important thing to do? Because the business landscape is changing so quickly. If you just say, I'm this, because that's what it says in your business card or your job description, not only could you find out that certainly your business or your industry becomes obsolete, but you will go down with it because people will only consider you to be that thing. And you don't want to just be considered that thing. You want to be considered lots of different things, if you know what I'm saying. So with that, this is about reinventing your business, reinventing yourself, and considering that you want to be seen as something completely different. Once you start getting out of your comfort zone and start examining your image, your thoughts, your values, your sense of who you are, who you connect with, why they perceive you to be a certain way, then your personal brand becomes really important, and it's a huge marketing tool for driving your own business. Whether you're a one-person business or you're the head of a company, whatever you decide to reinvent yourself as really matters. And we saw there with Jennifer Lopez. Now, she reinvents herself all the time. Every new album she brings out, every new tour, there's a new Jennifer Lopez. Why is that so fascinating? Because people spend a fortune to find out which one they're going to get. Now, if you say with Rolling Stones, you got a different kettle of fish there. What you've got is a group of guys who play the same music, dress the same way, do the same thing, but they're such legends at doing it, you have to see them live. And they're brilliant live. So you have to consider how conservative you want to be about the way that you want to reinvent yourself. I know what you're saying, Dave, I don't want to be a rock star or a pop star. I just sit in front of my laptop, press buttons and design websites. Okay, fine. But at the same time, you now need to consider yourself of a gig economy where you will be found online. The more that you can be flamboyant, the more that you can find things that resonate with you and resonate with people who will follow and work with you, the closer your knit community can be, the easier that they will be recommending you to other people who want to work with you, and from there you'll have an easier ride getting business. If you don't do that and you want to stay invisible and you don't want to be a brand at all, you better be brilliant. And better be brilliant in an industry that doesn't update, that doesn't need new people, doesn't do anything different, and is going to be around for 100 years. I know what you're saying. Okay, great, I'll be in law enforcement. Well, that's changing. What else? Accountants. Well, okay. When everything's digital and up in the cloud, we don't need people to go through newspapers or cuttings or receipts because we don't get any anymore. What else? IT? Well, that's changing as we speak. That's evolving. So having a brand and reinvention is not just about your outer brand, it's your inner brand in here. You have to think differently. And that's why I want to share with you this now, which is 12 key sessions in leadership that we can learn from famous CEOs. So you might want to make a note of this, or you might just want to retain it in your head or watch the video again later on when you get an opportunity to. By the way, if you just join me for Speak on Stage, I'm Dave Crane. I'm all about making you some of this, so you don't end up squeezing all of that so you got none left, which will be very depressing. And look, dead mouse. Let's have a look at my guts. And there's nothing, no batteries. That's probably why it's dead, Dave. No, I checked it earlier and it was dead. Dead. I've got two Macs in here. I've got an iMac over there. I've got a Mac here. And there a Mac, where a Mac, everywhere a Mac, all. Right, number one, take ownership and be vulnerable. Whenever anything comes along that is there and you've done something, take ownership, because the thing is, whatever it is that you do, it's very important that you actually make sure that people know that it was you that did it, good or bad. Being honest is really important. And I know a lot of people say, no, it's easier if I just avoid it and don't say it was me. Yeah, but people know. And then they don't respect you for it. If you goof, then you're human, because they will see over time exactly why you are the leader and why you are brilliant at it, because you also, if you turn around and say, okay, so what, I made a mess of it. That happens. But look at the next thing, it's brilliant, isn't it? People go, okay, and they identify with it. All right then, number two. I should have switched off my notifications and WhatsApp first, shouldn't I? Yes. My wife's sending messages. Yes. I'll keep flicking them up before you get a chance to see them. Now there's a game. Okay, number two. Focus on doing the right thing as much as you can, as positively as you can. Make sure that what you do is ethically correct for everybody around you. If you don't focus on that, then people will know and it will come out. So make sure your focus is on doing the right thing for you and for everybody else as much as you possibly can. And I know being a decision maker means that you got to look at the banner. I just read the message. You got to look at the overall choice and get the best of both worlds, but that's why you're in that position. Even if you're a one-man band or a one-woman, one-person band, you need to consider making those difficult decisions and owning them. Number three, value integrity above everything else. When people do business with you, and if you make a promise and you say, I'm going to do it, you stick to it. If you say, I buy into that, buy into it. If you turn around and say, I'll change my mood, I'll change my mind on things, then that's fine as well. But as long as you stick to who you say you are, people need that. It's called congruence. And people will do business with you, good or bad, over many, many years. If you're honest and open with them, and you say if you do it, and you do deliver it, that's all people want to know. Number four, declare your values and stick with them. So, for instance, wherever your set of values are, publicize them. Wear them like a badge. so people can see exactly what your company actually does. So they know that when they're doing business with you, then you are everything you see on the tin. I think the worst for this are, well, I'm going to say banks, but I'm sure there's plenty of other companies that are just as bad, where they go their mission statements and our values, and their mission statement and their values are all about the shareholders, not about the actual people who bank with them. We will make sure that we grow year on year. We'll make sure that we stay true to all the things we put together. What things you put together? We can't tell you. You're not a shareholder. So we're never going to tell you anything like that. That's none of your business. But we do it for everybody else, and we stick to it because we're a bank. I'm not just picking on banks, but I am a bit. But think about it. Your values are very important. Be transparent. Share what they are so people know who you are and why we should be doing business with you. It's extra marketing, if nothing else. And if somebody doesn't align with your values, get rid of them, because they're only going to bring you down, and you'll feel compromised if you don't stick to what you are. True? Part of the reinvention. Number 5, upgrade to a growth mental model. All the time, think about the things that are going to make you even stronger. All the time. Reinvention, motivation, meditation, whatever it is, the stronger you are as a person, the easier you'll find to grow. Number 4, remember that transparency is king. Tell everybody what's going on. We said this earlier about, sticking to your principles and so on. But if you tell people you've got a problem at the moment, but you're working your way through it, people will appreciate it. But also at the same time, I'll sort of balance it up with this. Maybe not always telling people who are investing money in you, oh, I'm having a problem now with stealing. That's probably not great. Oh, I've just come out of prison because I was a shoplifter. But hey, let me carry that stuff for you. So think about that. Think about what actually it means to you with your transparency. But with your team, be as transparent as possible. Let them know what's going on so they can then help you and will understand when they see problems in the future that there was a direct cause to it. And the cause isn't just you deciding to have a bad day and tell them about it. Number 7, treat failure as a rite of passage. I have no problem failing. Look, right in the middle of this exact messaging, my wife keeps sending WhatsApps, and I'm trying to get rid of them as quickly as possible so you don't read them. But now you're focused on reading it. I should have checked it. I should have switched it off. She's going to tell me, Dave, you told me to switch. I told you to switch off your notifications during the show. I said I was going to send stuff. So there you go. Failed again. Am I going to lose it? No. I'm going to flick as fast as I can. Yes, I'll move on to the next subject. Okay, number 8, remember that someone is always watching, just like you are right now. Social media means not only are they watching, but it stays there forever. If somebody says a good thing or a bad thing about you on the internet, it's really hard to scrub it. It's really hard to do reputation management. You have to then create a ton of content that basically says the opposite and says that the person is really good. And then you've got to move that higher up the Google search ladder so all the nasty things are down at the bottom so people would never search it. But if you play a right card and you don't tell lies and you say the stuff that you should really say, then what it means is people will appreciate it. And even if it's tough, they'll say, well, you should follow this person, because even during the bad days, they tell what it is. Yesterday I did a very painful show, hopefully not so painful for you, but I mean for those of us who are suffering, because emotionally we lost the Black Panther, who's a champion in many ways, Chadwick Boseman, not just as an actor, he's much more than that. And if you're of colour, you'll get that straight away. If you're not of colour, I don't mean disrespect. There is a difference, and well, that's another news story. Watch the episode, you'll understand why it matters to me, and it might not matter to many of my friends. But that kind of thing, if you are honest and open with people, they appreciate it. Was it a funny show yesterday? No, I didn't try and have any laughs in it at all. But it was important, it was heartfelt, which means I can go like this today and make you money and talk about a dead mouse for no apparent reason. Number 9, seek feedback to build self-awareness. Don't be scared to ask people, what do you think? That's why I say to you, give me your comments, and I put all your comments up. If anyone turns around and says, Dave, you've got a big nose, I'll put it up. Not on my nose, I'll just put it up on the screen. Number 10, treat others as you wish to be treated. No. You see, this is a challenge for me. I have a real problem with this. People misquote, and they say that in the Bible, they say treat others as you want to be treated. But I don't think that's right. I think that's an old way of doing it when you're all coming from the same community. When you're doing business with people all around the world, you should treat others as they want to be treated themselves, not the way that you want to be treated. Let me explain to you. So for instance, if you're in a multicultural office and you're celebrating the month end and you've managed to hit the targets. Okay, in the old days when you're all in the same office, the boss might turn around and say, right, let's go to have a drink after work. I'll buy the first round for everybody. Well, that might be great because he loves the celebration and wants everyone to party, but you might find that some of the staff don't drink, or they're driving, or they've got somewhere else to go, or they just don't get a happiness out of going to a bar. Maybe in a restaurant, or maybe taking some time after work and ordering pizza in would work for others. So what you're going to do is treat others as they want to be treated, and don't think that everybody wants to be the same as you. That's my Rudolph cup of tea. And that's money in the bank. No, that was tea down my neck, but that's money in the bank, the idea. Okay. Number 11, don't violate stakeholders' trust. When you've got stakeholders and they believe in you, be very careful about the relationship you have with them, because if they decide to move away from you, you get into all sorts of doodah. But at the same time, if you're a small business, you probably don't have to worry about that right now. I feel like I'm playing tennis and my wife's WhatsApps. They come down and look at it's like playing tennis. Ball comes over, you knock it back over. Ball comes over, you knock it back over. Or even worse, if you're in the back garden and you're trying to sunbathe and the kids next door are playing football and they knock the ball over and it lands in the pool or in your coffee or whatever, and you're like, oh, kids, you throw it back. Sorry, Mr. Crane. And then throw it back. And, oh, goodness. And I know what you're saying. I would never sunbathe. I would never sunbathe because I just look like a beach whale that people want to throw back in the sea. But in principle, this is still a sound analogy. And number 12, have a humanitarian approach to everything, which I think is very important. Not just because you've got to have a humanitarian approach to the idea of leadership, but also because right now, these challenging times means that empathy is king. Your ability to have a relationship with everybody is down to your ability to understand what's going on in their heads, in their world. And people are remote, so you can't even say, meet me in the office. You can do a separate room on Zoom or whatever you're doing, but you really have to understand what's going on with people. So the more human you are, the more you'll understand. And that sounds a ridiculous thing. I feel like I've just moved my mouse. I had two mice there because this is done on a Mac. I've got the dead, oh, that's it. That's a dead mouse. I've just killed my other mouse. Hello? The bits just fell off. I think it's still working. Sorry, bear with me. I think I've just killed live TV. SpeakOnstage, by the way, broadcasting across the world. We've got like 1,000 to 2,000 people watching every single day. I'm Dave Crane. Love your comments and thoughts. Trying to get my mouse to... Mouse, please. I love you. Come back. Bring money. Come back. I don't care. The mouse demolishing man. Next up, let's talk about some other stuff, because I promised we'd talk about reinvention and maybe a challenge. I'd love your thoughts and comments, by the way. If you have a particular challenge with reinvention, then let me know, because I'd like to be able to answer your questions as much as possible. And with the Industry Icon program, by the way, that's all about reinvention. That's the time that I work with you specifically, you, your business, maybe your team, and the way that you position yourself and the way that the world perceives you is kind of important as well. So with all that stuff, make sure that you connect with me. And with the Industry Icon program, I work with a small group of people to get them across the finishing line as a speaker, also as a marketer, as a brand, and also being able to reinvent yourself on a daily basis. All those questions. I've got a colleague of mine that I'm working with at this moment in time, a client of mine, working on a book. Very exciting guy, very exciting project. And the book I don't like. The book cover I don't like. That's another conversation to have. I'm not going to talk about it too much, it's too specific. I know the person in conversation will be watching me, and I don't know why I'm talking like a Dalek. But I'm just saying. Reinvention has got to be congruent. Here's the thing. Whatever you're saying you've got to be, or you want to be, people have to see you as that. You can see yourself as the sexiest person on the planet, but if you look like a potato, no. Everyone's just going to laugh and say, if that's the delusional side of you, then why should we buy from you? Similarly, when it comes to humor, I'm funny on this show, at least I hope I'm funny on this show, but at the same time, when I talk about stuff that's serious, I'm very serious on it. I add humor to entertain. and engage. And that's why people stay with the show for like 40 minutes each time. But if I wasn't engaging, they'd just go away. But at the same time, I've got to prove that I am serious about the business of being serious, about the business of speaking and so on. So that's why humor's got to be used the right kind of way. You're used to me now, which is why you find me show engaging. But if I just came and said, "Hi, I'm Dave Crane," and didn't do any work at all, you'd say, "Why am I here?" And I'd probably say, "Why am I here?" So anyway, 10 things to consider when reinventing yourself. First question is this: who and what am I? What do people perceive me to be? Who do I think I am? If I was to have a superhero name, what would that superhero be? For me, I'm a virtual broadcaster, not a virtual speaker, not even a keynote speaker. I was in a conversation yesterday with a good friend of mine who turned around and said, "Dave, you're a motivational speaker." I said, "I'm not a motivational speaker, not anymore. I do speak and I'm motivational, but now I'm not in front of audiences." That is 5 to 6 months old. Nobody's speaking in front of live audiences, or if they are, they probably shouldn't be, unless it's socially distanced. What you should be doing is broadcasting online to thousands of people, building up your brand, creating relationships, and monetizing your consultancy ability and your coaching and your mentoring ability. That's what a speaker is evolving into now. So you've got to really think about who am I, what am I, and what do people know me for? There's no point me turning around and saying, "Right, I'm a top motivational speaker, I've won awards, you know. Oh, and by the way, I can make you a cake. Would you like one of my cakes?" I'll go, "Cheers, Dave. That's really good, but I don't think you're the king of cakes." I'm not the king of cakes. If I was a king of cakes, I would say, "I'm the king of cakes. Look at me. I can make a bar of cake that looks a bit like a squeeze toy, like a gold bar, but actually, that's great cake. It still smells like cake though." Have you ever had something, do you remember when you were a kid? Probably not. I mean, for me it was harder because I was such a long time ago. But when in those days we didn't have laptops and we didn't use electronics at all, we just had pens and paper. And so you carry around like a book and you'd have pencil case and you'd like have your sharpener in it for the pencils. You'd never take a pen because you'd have to then rub it. You can't rub out a pen. You can now, but not really. And you'd have rubbers. Now when I say rubbers, I know some people go, "He just said rubbers." Erasers. Not what you were thinking. I was a kid. Afro. And you used to get them that are fruit flavoured, and you collect them and some of them smell really nice. Do you remember that? And my point is, you'd get them and you get them like sweets, or you get them like fruit, or you get them like some kind of candy, and they'd smell amazing because they'd perfume them. And sometime in your life, you put one on your tongue or in your mouth to see if it would taste just like it smelled. Don't say you didn't. I know you did. I didn't. All right, then. So number 2 is what do people know me for? Number 3, what evidence is out there about you? What's the point in declaring yourself to be brilliant at something? I'm the cakey makey champion. If there's no evidence of you having made cakes, nobody's going to believe you. There are other people who are experts at cakes and other things, and so you need to make sure that you have the evidence out there, or don't declare yourself until you've got the evidence of it. You can grow into your brand, but start collecting stuff straight away. Testimonials, all that stuff. We'll do more on branding and more on social proof in a whole show in its own. Number 4, what are my values? We talked about values before. Who am I? What do I do? Why should you have that? Because if you don't have your values, you don't know if you're on track. You'll feel that your life is a little bit empty because you're not doing what you believe you should be doing with your life. And also, people won't know how to face you. I guarantee most of your friends have no idea about your values effectively, but they know what makes you tick. If you were to say, "Right, these are my values," they go, you know what, I was so wrong about that. I didn't realize that was you, but now I know. I'll alter the way that I work with you. And it really works. They could also leave you behind, so I never taught you again. Number 5, who am I declaring war on? This is a key point. This is where the money is. Who am I declaring war on? You've got to have an enemy. I know you're saying, "But Dave, I don't want to fall out with anybody." Think about it. One of my heroes, Sir Ken Robinson, died about 2 weeks ago. And Sir Ken Robinson, you have to see his TED Talk, which is, I think, the most watched TED Talk of all time, where he basically says, he's an educator, he says the education system is rubbish, and it's been wrong for a long time, and nobody's going to admit it, but it's true, and it's badly flawed. And I found that at school so badly that I couldn't wait to not have to be in an establishment anymore. So I didn't leave school early. I went to university, but when I started working for organisations, I hated it. And I hated it all the way through school. And so I've declared war effectively on education by doing this show. And my career has always been about the fact that the things that you learn at school very rarely get you ready for a job. They get you good at getting grades at school, or bad at getting grades at school. And if your grades at school are bad, then you feel stupid and you feel unwanted and you feel unworthy, especially when you look around at other kids who are doing really, really well, who you know you're better than, but not better at that. You're better at them than other things, like maybe playing sports, or maybe getting on with people, or maybe playing games, or maybe designing games at home. But that schoolwork is really boring and doesn't interest you. Or maybe you got a different learning system. I was rubbish at science and quite a few other subjects. I came out of it with 10 O-levels. What else an O-level, Dave? Google it. Really old people have them. So, I realised later on that my ability to do the sciences would have been so much easier if it could have been taught in a visual way. I'm a visual person. So making me learn stuff parrot fashion and formulas that I didn't really get, but I would understand how they mix together, if that's what the system had been to learn it, would have made my life easier. So it cost me. It probably cost me my entire life, the sciences that could have contributed to me, because they would have led to computer programming. Now I know a lot about tech, now I know a lot about the computer IT world, but that's only because I had to reinvent, and then it started working for me. If I'd learned at school, it would have been so much easier. Now I'm sure my story is similar to yours. So I declare war on the established way that education is done, same as Ken Robinson, and I do this show, and I work with my clients to help them reset themselves to who they truly need to be in life. Yeah? Well, in your world, there's something you're not happy with. Declare war on it now. And then we'll help you to monetize it. All right, number 6, what's a big problem you can fix? What is it you're going to fix? You declare war on an establishment, a big enemy. The bigger it is, the better. Because then people will go, yeah, I buy into that. That's a great idea. I really don't like it either. So what is it that you're declaring war on? Then, of course, what's a big problem you're going to sort out? My big problem I'm sorting out is the way that people can find the job that makes them happy. Or the employment that makes them happy, because a job is not the way to do it. It's whatever pays your bills and keeps you occupied is kind of like a job, but if you can make it so it doesn't feel like going to work, then it's not a job, but it is you. Does that make sense? No. Yes. Think about it. If you choose what you really love and what you're really good at, and it makes you happy every day, and somebody pays you money to do that, will you feel like you've won the lottery? Yes, you will. Will you feel like you're going to do a job every day that you hate? No, you won't. That's my point. Thank you. All right, number 7. Who else is fighting this battle? For a lot of different reasons. First of all, can they partner with you? Can you learn from them? Have they left a roadmap in the road that you can follow? A trail of breadcrumbs that you can pick up and go, ooh, breadcrumbs. Mm-hmm. Unless you're wheat intolerant. In which case you go, ooh, gluten-free. I have to eat gluten-free bread, and it's like this. It's like, oh, we'd like some gluten-free bread. Yes, please. I'll just pay a lot of money, $50 for a loaf of bread about this size. I'll chop it up, get at least 5 slices for $50, and I'll eat a slice of toast. Really chewy. How chewy, Dave? Like chewy. If you make gluten-free products, then this is not necessarily about yours. Just the ones I've had so far. Quite a lot. Okay then, so who else is fighting the battle, and how can they help you, and what are they doing to improve theirs, and can you learn from them, or collaborate, or can you go as a pace setter, and keep watching and see what we're doing and moving on forward, not necessarily copying, but the journey is a journey. And also the beautiful thing is, when you declare war on something, and you're moving forward, you can then create a tribe with your rivals in it. Because they're only business rivals in the fact you're competing in the same kind of market, but if you've got an abundance mindset that there's enough for everybody, they become your traveling partners, and they can throw work at you, you can throw work at them, you throw them over clients you don't want, but they can still, it works out. All right, number 8, what does the battlefield look like? Excuse me, I'll just drink some tea. If you've got a drink now, take one as well, because this one I'll take a little sip. Good tea. Number 8, what's a battlefield look like? Where are you fighting it? Where are you? What are you doing? What's the biggest problem that you've got to deal with? How long is it going to take to get there? The landscape could be incredible. It could be they're going for a digital change and everything's up for grabs. Right now, broadcasting is. Right now, your ability to do a web TV show means that people go, ooh, shiny, let's have a look at that. Of course, they've got other options. We've got Netflix and we've got other web TV shows and so on, but it's still in its early days. And that's in my particular industry as a speaker. In your industry, it might be completely different. But if you start speaking and start creating a TV show all about what you do, cake making or gardening or making little booties for children, little baby booties for newborn babies. Don't ever do an advert and sound like that because it sounds ridiculous. Whatever you do, then that battleground, that battlefield that you're on, you might turn around and say, right, you know what? I'm making these little booties for small kids, but if I can personalize them by putting the child's name on, parents will pay because they make great photo opportunities. And if I can get a lot of parents to send me the photos of the kids wearing those booties, then that will be addiction. Not addiction. That'll be addictive for parents who look at the website who then want to see their kids wearing these special signature booties. So that'll help to drive my marketing. And if I can get the parents to give a testimonial while holding up the baby and get the baby to dance for me, and I get some music that all the babies are dancing to wearing those booties, that's an advert I can use. Can you see how this goes? Yes? And I'm only talking about babies' booties. And I'm not wearing any right now because it only fit on my... probably my thumb. Okay, number 9, what's my vehicle look like? Not my cars outside. What I mean is, what do you look like in the way that you're going to get there? Are you driving a big vehicle, a small vehicle? Are you on foot? Are you coming up with great stuff for your website? Does your website look terrible? Is your social media really strong? Are you looking good yourself? Do you look like you make a lot of effort? Because I've not had a shave today. Even so, I do look okay. Yeah? Bit of a George Clooney look. Not George Clooney look. Morgan Freeman look. Not Morgan. Papa Smurf look. Right, okay, I've got my best Papa Smurf look on today. Thank you so much for contributing. It could have been worse. You could have said I look like that guy who was a pirate out of Peter Pan. Smee. Have a look at Smee. Yes, when you see him, he's Smee. Number 10, feedback loops and analytics. Data analytics is probably the most important currency you can get your hands on. It's worth more than gold because your ability to understand what's going on in the market is also a great job for you because people will pay for that. Your ability to interpret what's coming soon, what's been in the past, and how that affects everybody and make those roadmaps and predict it is very important. But more than anything, predict it for you. Your feedback, your understanding of how things should move forward, everything you need to be able to reinvent yourself and be effective about it. Otherwise, you reinvent yourself and you put it out there and hope that people see it, and ultimately all they're going to do is go, oh, okay, that was fascinating, cheers, bye, and they won't interact with you, and you wish you hadn't done it. Hope those are useful for you. By the way, reinventing yourself is today's theme. I'm Dave Crane. Make sure you like everything. Make sure all those different things come up every time a thumb comes up or a clapping or a love heart or whatever it is, because that matters to me, and it also matters to the algorithms to let people know we should be watching more of this stuff. Next up, we talk about Industry Icon Program and also what's coming up next. Right then, so if you want to fast track your ability to be more effective, then you need to do it like this. We're working on something very special for you in the next couple of days, which is a challenge on the toilet paper diaries, which will be on Wednesday evening. I think Wednesday evening we'll be bringing out toilet paper diaries by my friend Ernesto Verdugo, based in Houston, Texas, and I'm here in Dubai in the UAE. We do a broadcast together all about the latest trending topics, all the things that are fun, and we got a completely different spin on what we do than what I do in this show. But it's great fun. And for those of you who've seen it, fantastic. For those of you who haven't seen it, go to toiletpaperdiaries.com and you'll be able to see exactly what the show's like. And you're thinking, toilet paper diary, Dave, why would you call it that? Because do you remember when people used to fight over toilet paper? You do remember? Well, that's when we made a show. It was 7 months ago. 7 months? My goodness. All right, then, Industry Icon Program. In this program, we go for all the things you need to be able to do to be a very effective speaker. At this moment in time, I normally have about 10 people working on the program. I say 10 people a bit like in, in the Jedi world, Star Wars world, they normally have one master and one Padawan. for the good and the bad. Yeah? Well, I have 10. I've got 10 people I'm coaching to get to a finishing line faster. If you're interested in becoming one of those people, because people get across the finishing line and they go off from their distances of a journey and say, Dave, thank you. And I go well into the future. I wish you the very best. I don't know why I sound like a mythical person because I can't even spell mythical. Man, it's probably worth a lot of scrabble. So, for a 10-minute consultancy, just contact me. We go for everything you need to jump and grow wings on the way down, and we design your perfect life. We also model your ability to speak on many of the very best who are close to what you do. So, for instance, right now you might be watching what's going on between Biden and Trump. How could you miss it? And you may say, oh, I like the way Trump speaks, or I like the way Biden speaks. Or you might say, I like Michelle Obama's particular speech. Or you might say, I don't like anything to do with politics. That's spitting, but not spitting, because I'd land on my dead mouse. Dead mouse. I might want to be like Gary Vaynerchuk and produce a ton of content. And in a future show, I'll be going through his business model, by the way, on how to produce at least 64 pieces of content every single day. But he says it's 100 now. But we'll go through it and explain exactly what you need. Or you may be like Arianna Huffington or even Simon Sinek. Whichever of these stars you emulate or you feel you're closest to, then we will be working through that with you on the Industry Icon program. It looks like, hold on, wait, look, wait. There you go. Oprah Winfrey's biting the back of my head. Should I sue? Not really. No, not really at all. Okay, so that's it. That's the Industry Icon program. Hope you're enjoying everything. This is about reinvention. I'm going to tell you a few things about reinvention before we finish today's show. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Reinvention is something that, just like washing and eating and going to the gym, you should do it regularly, and you should always make sure that you keep moving. We're in a really changing and fluent world, and I was just compiling this morning the stuff for a future show, which maybe is actually going to be tomorrow's show, which includes how you survive in 2021. Yeah. And the things you need to have as skill sets to be able to do all this to work. And one of the things that you need to have is an insight into futures. You have to be able to interpret what future technology and future trends are going to be like. Because you can't just say we're doing okay, everyone's doing this, because nobody's doing the same thing. Everybody's wondering where it's all going to be. And just like data analytics, your ability to judge what's coming up in the future from the point of view of tech or emotional stuff to even the borderlines between countries and the way that people will relate to each other once the coronavirus has been eradicated properly. All those things are mega skill sets, and the more you have of these, the easier you'll find to navigate around your life. So with that, I've got to say, it's been a pleasure spending quality time with you. I hope you've enjoyed the show. Tomorrow we're doing a survival guide to 2021. We will be increasing stuff that we put into that survival guide, so by the time it comes to Christmas and New Year, if I'm still doing the show, which I might not be, I might get bored, or you might get bored, or I might have something better to do, then we'll be sharing that with its final up-to-date on the end of 2020, before we go into 2021. Meanwhile, I'm going to leave you with a thought, which is about the reinvention of yourself and how important it is to get it right. And if you don't get it right, just get it as right as you can every single day. That's it from me. Hope you've had a good time with me, chilling, enjoying, and sharing ideas. I wish you all the best with your reinvention, and thanks for your comments as always. And if you have any thoughts, contact me directly. If you're on any of the platforms, you can send me a direct message, and I look forward to finding what we can do for you in the future. My name is Dave Crane. If this is Speak on Stage, then it's all yours. Take care. Thank you. Bye. I want to ask you a question. What defines you? What if you lost your money, you lost your job, you lost your house, you lost your shoes, you lost your friends, you lost the ability to turn around and say to people, this is what I want from my life? What if you had no rights? What if you had no clothes? What if you had nowhere to live? What if your passport went and you lost your ability to take a plane to anywhere in the world? What if a bank didn't recognize you? What if nobody recognized you? What if you lost your health? And on top of that, you lost your will. What would you be after? The truth is, you would still
gadgets, the people around you, they're what define you right now, but that's not who you truly are. The person you truly are is whoever you decide that you're going to be. And you can decide that person every single day. Every day you have a choice. You can stay where you are. You can look at the past. You can look at all the trophies on the shelf and the photos and the selfies of the places that you've been and the people you've met, and you can say, that is me. Or you can say, that was me yesterday. The one that comes today and the one that comes tomorrow could be anybody. And the adventure is, I'm going to define them right now. And that's why you create a roadmap and you define yourself every single day.